Hello, good day. It's May 6th, 2021. When I was growing up, I had this very interesting occasion where I learned the social security numbers of my parents. My father's social security number had three consecutive sixes in it. My father was not an overtly spiritual man that I knew of. He did not share this with me as I was growing up. It didn't really concern me. It didn't really bother me until 2017 when I met a woman, very spiritual woman, a beautiful woman with children was being tormented by men, including men of the law, the alleged law, the secular law, the constitutional law, or so they purported. She had a small business, and her business certification had three consecutive sixes in the license number. This afflicted her greatly. She considered it a curse, and I agreed with her. I attempted to help her to acknowledge that there's no reason for this. Not only that, but insofar as it had been issued to her, it had been used in fraud. Any reasonable person would understand how there was both an imperative to uphold the Constitution of Texas regarding protecting people and their religious and faith preferences, as well as understanding she had been a victim of fraud, including fraud that involved threats of violence and visitations of violence on her place of business. And there was more than one constitutional precedent for allowing for her to be issued a new business license with a different number. That did not occur. Sometime later, I had need to acquire a birth certificate of myself. My original birth certificate had been left with my mother. I never obtained my actual original birth certificate. But the one that I did have, the original that had been provided by the state I was born in, which was Virginia, had been separated from me through no intention of my own. So I requested a new one. And lo and behold, they provided me with a birth certificate. I paid for it. I paid for the postage. They said they didn't get the payment. But I got the document. And the document number on that birth certificate also had three consecutive sixes on it. I still have it. It's the one I have now. It's the one I'm keeping. I had a reason at some point in time to come across this. And King Solomon gave unto the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, besides that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants. Now, the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 666 talents of gold. It continues. I don't like reading scripture, especially when it comes to holy context that are outside of the church or outside of a sacred space, and especially when it has to deal with intercession of the state. But the whole crucial matter involving this woman was an understanding that because she was a spiritual woman and because her first language was Spanish, there was an understanding that there might be a different way to address factors in her consideration than what I would have understood in English to be the constitutionally appropriate remedy. The problem is those people who interceded did not have the authority. I want to thank you for allowing for me to inherit my father's talents. I believe that she and her children should be safe. I believe they should be given their own land in their own name, with an understanding that the mineral rights of their land are in connection with laws regarding the state of Texas and the prior manners in which the Republic of Texas understood the mineral deposits under the lands of people belong to the state, to the Republic, in order to serve the best interests of the people. But the land, and that which is above the land, and that which she creates on the land, and that which she builds on the land, is hers. Now, I can say this in Spanish, but I'm not going to. Not yet. There are laws that go way back. There are processes that go way back. Somebody decided to engage a ceremony. The ceremony has been completed. Leave her alone. If she's still alive, give her her land back. Give her her homes back. Give her back what she had. Give her back her daughter and her sons, wounded they may be. Leave them in peace. This is not a warning. You did not have anything close to the authority to make a mockery of her and her people the way you tried to. You will be punished one way or another. But you have tried to use her to bind other people in order to try to use them in the stead of yourself for the afflictions that you already brought down. That is not righteous, and it is not fair to the rest of us. It is not fair to me to know that what is left of my life is going to have to be spent hunting you down and make you pay for what you've stolen. It's really not. I have so much more to offer, but it is a duty and a necessity to do it. And the more people you try to continue to seduce, to torture, into being your familiars so that you can sacrifice them, hoping it'll bribe the darkness into keeping you from wrath, is a sin. A mortal sin upon you and your family, and you know it. It was not appropriate for you to do any of this. It's gone on too long. Leave her alone. Give her her land. Give her back her children. I'll deal with you outside of that.